So let's get a sniffy sniff here. You're all Alicante Boucher virgins, so this is exciting. Now, I think anybody smelling this wine and that's ever experienced beef jerky and pepper is gonna know exactly what they're smelling. I mean, this smells exactly like beef jerky. And clearly a white pepper component on the nose as well. There's also a little hint of like some black currant. Let's give it a whirl. How many people hate this wine? Ma'am, you raised your hand before I even finished the sentence. Some serious, gosh, some tough people here. Dislike. Good, good. Meh. Okay, like it. This is a nice crowd. Love it. So, again, this is exciting. This wine, for 3 people was a love it, for about 20 was a like it. This wine is $8. 8 bones. And what I really think is fascinating about this wine was this was more of a medium-bodied wine. It definitely had, serious complexities that you would normally not see in a wine, definitely not from California, France, or Spain, that would be under 10 bones. It has almost a Bordeaux-like. How many of you felt that it was Bordeaux-like to you on the palate? How about Spanish-like? Okay, a little bit more towards Spanish, and I understand why. There was a little bit of that sunshine, but I feel like this almost had a right bank kind of sensibility to it. It felt Cabernet-like on the tannins. I have a feeling that people that hated or disliked it didn't like it because of the bitterness and the sharp kind of tannins on the back end, almost this high chocolate, high cocoa count, bitter chocolate, if you're into that flavor on the back end. Clearly, how many of you have had mulberries before? How many of you picked up that subtle mulberry flavor on the back end? Yeah, I thought that was really distinct in this wine. So if you're a mulberry fan, this would definitely be worth seeking out. This wine is another 3 to 4 years in the cellar. Leave it open for about 45 minutes to an hour. Perfect with casual food. I would say tapas would be an amazing pairing with this wine, or a stir fry, believe it or not, if you don't want to go with a white and a Gewürztraminer. I think this could be an excellent play. At 8 bones, another very good wine. I'm gonna go 86 plus on this wine. I like it a little here more, not crazy more, but 86 plus points on this wine. And I like the black pepper on the nose. Yeah. And finally, the Crasto, 2007 from Douro. This wine is 35% Tinta Roriz, 25% Tinta Barraca, 25% Touriga Franca, and 15% Touriga Nacional. 15 bones. Let's give it a sniffy sniff. This comes from one of the more seriously underrated, under the radar producers of port. So let's see what they do on the red wine. Sniffy sniff? No drinking. How many of you guys like this nose? Okay. Dislike it. Can't smell crap. So there's clearly, again, a raspberry flavor coming through on this wine for me. There's also a much heavier floral component than the last 2 wines. But it is aromatically challenged. I think Mr. USA hat is on point with the can't smell much, because it is aromatically challenged, and that's devastating for me because I don't like wines like that. But a lot of times they come through on the flavor. Let's see if that's the case. Let's give it a whirl. Huh. How many people hate this wine? 3. 2, is that a half? How many people dislike this wine? Okay. How many people are meh about this wine? How many people like it? How many people love it? So, very interesting. This is the least popular wine with the crowd. However, my hmms came from the fact that this was pretty oaked. I was surprised how oaky this wine was. I would say for me, it is a little bit of a oak monster, but it didn't completely scare the bejesus out of me. It was there, but it wasn't really scary, right? It's kind of like a baby lion. You know what's coming, but for now, it's cute. So what I think is interesting is when you get wines that are very oaked, you're gonna have this line in the sand that we just saw. More people disliked it, was too creamy, kind of. How many people, the people that were meh, dislike, or hate, felt that it was too light and didn't taste like anything? The majority, and I thought so too. What really caught me on this wine was the fact that it kind of disappeared. This wine reminds me a little bit of like the Haunted Mansion over at the, the Kingdom. It's like a ghost. It disappeared on you, and that bothered me. But I did think it was massively creamy. Iron Man, you loved it because it was so darn smooth.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I expected more people to like this wine for that reason. It is awfully smooth. Do we agree, crowd-wise, that this wine's very smooth? But you didn't give it enough credit because it was too light. Fair enough. I agree with you guys. I'm going to score this wine 83 points, but proves everybody's got their own palate because I'm sure that Iron Man's going to be pumped to know it's only 15 bones, and it is shockingly smooth. But it's ironic, once again, the thesis of my whole wine world, which is that price has little to no impact on quality. The wine here today that was twice the price of the other two was by far, in a 50-person kind of test case, the least popular. And definitely for my palate, I'm no expert, but I've tasted a crap load of wines in my life. It definitely was thin and not that impressive. Question of the day. Who is your favorite Disney character? You, with a little bit of me, and the awesome crowd out here, clap it up for yourselves. And my eyes are burning from my sweat. We are changing the wine world.